Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? How you doing? It's your main man, Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the Blorange Tears audio podcast. Welcome to all the members of the insane YouTube family. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everyone listening to this on audio podcast or audio platform. Got a topic that I want to talk to you about just really briefly, nothing super long. Y'all know how these conversations go, or these monologues, I should say, how these joints go. For those listening for the first time, please consider downloading the other Blorange Tears podcasts that are available, season 1 and right now season 2. Consider downloading them on all of your audio podcast platforms. And if you're new to us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Consider coming and rocking with us all the time as we turn this chaotic Knicks fandom into conversations. All right, so let's get started. Let me ask you this, and it's a rhetorical question. This is a rhetorical question. Are our New York Knicks contenders or pretenders? And if you don't know the answer to this question, don't fret. If you do know the answer to this question, don't fret. And it sounds like a weird thing, right? Like it sounds like we're in a weird place, right? Well, guess what? Knicks fans, we are in a weird place. And that's okay. That's okay. Right? It's okay to be in a weird place. We've all been in these situations before. Do you stay or do you go? Do you make the right turn or the left turn? Some people will call it the fork in the road. Some people call it the fork in the road, right? I like to call it progress. Options are a good thing. Having no option, no alternative is never a good thing in my mind. Having no option, nowhere to turn, no move to make, in my mind, is a bad thing. Right? And you don't have to agree with me on that. Just listen, just follow along as I try to make a point here. Right? Are the Knicks contenders or pretenders? I'm gonna make a case for both, and you let me know. Is a combination of RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson enough to contend for an NBA championship? If you said no right there, don't fret. If you said no when I asked you that, don't worry. Don't worry. Because championship contenders are not built overnight. If you said yes, if if you said yes, if then don't worry, because championship contenders have to start off with a baseline, a foundation. And if you think RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson are the foundation of something great, all they need is another piece. I can understand where you're coming from, right? And that's why I asked the question: is Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle enough alone to make a serious playoff push, contend for a championship? Are they? All right. And I'm going to ask for this moment to keep your answers to yourselves. And even though I know that's impossible on YouTube because that's what we do here, right? So here is where we have the fork in the road. If RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson are not enough to contend for a championship, then what is your next move? Is your next move searching for internal help? Is your next move who on this roster can help the Knicks get to the next level? Who on this roster can I depend on, right? Not named Randall, not named Julius Randle, not named RJ Barrett, not named Jalen Brunson. Who on this roster can help that triumvirate contend for a championship? Is it Obi Toppin, the most physically gifted player on the roster? Obi Toppin does have the look of a burgeoning star, of a player that, if everything goes right, can be one of the faces of the NBA. He has the look. He's got the excitement factor. He's got the energy. If everything goes right, if everything goes right, Obi Toppin looks like he can become a face of the NBA if everything goes right. But how long do you wait? You do have time to wait because RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson are all here for the long term. If you base it on contracts, Julius Randle is here for the long term, based on what his contract says. Jalen Brunson is here for the long term, based on what his contract says, and RJ Barrett. Julius Randle, based on contract, is here for the next 4 years. Brunson is here for the next 4 years. RJ Barrett is here for the next 5 years. So can you wait on Obi? Can you wait on Obi Toppin? And are you a contender or pretender? Depends on what your time frame is. How long are you willing to wait? And this question I'm asking you, are you a contender or pretender right now? Are you a contender or pretender in the short term, meaning next year and the next 2 or 3 years? Can you get internal help from Obi Toppin? Does Obi Toppin provide you with the immediate internal help that you need in order to become a championship level team right now? Does Obi Toppin, would Obi bring, does what Obi brings to your team or to our team on a nightly basis help us become a championship contender? And so this is not a Obi Toppin referendum. This is me, a lifelong Knicks fan, looking for internal help on the roster. Does Quentin Grimes provide that internal help? Quentin Grimes is a high upside combo guard with upside mainly on defense and 3-point shooting. He shot just about the same percentage from three as Evan Fournier last year. Does Quentin Grimes help you become a championship contender? And then there is the IQ question. What is Emmanuel Quickly? What is Emmanuel Quickly? Can Emmanuel Quickly, if unlocked, make this team a championship contender? And there are others. There are others. There's the Cam Reddish question. We have to do the Cam Reddish question thing another day. There are other young players on the roster. We'll have to talk about that another day. But here's the thing. If you believe Obi, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly helps this team become a championship contender, my question is how long do you have to wait? How long do you have to wait on one of those three, two of those three, all three to become the X factors on a championship team? Because if they're ready right now to help this team become a championship contender, then I can just end this right now and we could talk about the type of celebrations that we'll do when the Knicks win the championship. If there is any room for error, then we can continue on to the next part of this, which is searching for external help. Searching for external help. And if you're a Knicks fan, the last thing you want to hear is go bring in veterans to play in front of these kids. That's the last thing you want to hear. But before we serve indictments on ideas, maybe we should explore the ideas. Idea number one, go get Mike Conley from the Utah Jazz. And Knicks fans everywhere are, I understand, Knicks fans everywhere are flipping tables, sliding, slamming their lunch on the floor, throwing their phones into the walls like projectiles. Uncle Freezy, why go get Mike Conley when you already have an injury prone all-star level, basically, former all-star level point guard on the bench in Derrick Rose? It's the same reason why you kept Derrick Rose in the first place. It's the same reason why Derrick Rose is here. You need veteran playmaking on the floor at all times. Because here's the thing, by adding one more piece. Here's the thing about adding one more piece. You only add one more piece if you can answer the question, are you a pretender or contender? If you are a contender, you add Mike Conley to keep Conley, Jalen Brunson, Derrick Rose healthy so that you could be healthy going into the playoffs. Because by adding Mike Conley, you will make the playoffs. Adding Mike Conley means you will make the playoffs. Because what Conley does for this team, for our team, in limited minutes is keeps positive momentum going while Jalen Brunson and Derrick Rose rest. And you can play Mike Conley and Derrick Rose, Mike Conley and Jalen Brunson together. That means you can play Jalen Brunson and Derrick Rose together. And Mike Conley is the third guard. Or you could play Derrick Rose and Mike Conley together with Jalen Brunson being the alternate. You could play Jalen Brunson and Mike Conley together and Derrick Rose be the third guy. And I'm saying on most nights. Now, I know Jalen Brunson is the starter. I know Derrick Rose is not an NBA starter anymore. And I don't believe Mike Conley. I think Mike Conley is a borderline NBA starter. And I know they're all 6'1", 6'2". But the alternative is Emmanuel Quickly. The alternative, say if Jalen Brunson gets hurt, or I'm sorry, not hurt, but injured. If Jalen Brunson gets injured, the alternative is a backcourt of Emmanuel Quickly and Evan Fournier. And I'm here to tell you that if you made up in your mind that the Knicks are either contenders or pretenders, just the thought alone drives you to make the Mike Conley trade. So why Mike Conley? We saw for the last year and a half or so that without a point guard, the Knicks are a rudderless ship. Without an established point guard, without an established point guard, who are the New York Knicks? Without an established point guard, the Knicks are a 36-win team who blames their best player for everything. Without a point guard, the New York Knicks are a rudderless team that looks to blame Julius Randle for everything. The price of gas is Julius Randle's fault. Inflation is Julius Randle's fault. That's who we are. And I say that, but what that really means is without a point guard, we blame our best player for all of our shortcomings. Regardless if his name is Julius Randle or Carmelo Anthony or whoever, Kristaps Porzingis, when a team doesn't have an established point guard play, they blame their best player for everything. And so it seems as if I'm leaving out Evan Fournier in this. And yes, I am leaving out Evan Fournier because Evan Fournier is good at his one thing. But a lot of nights you have to be flexible in what it is that you provide. And when you don't have the playmaking flexibility, then what do you really have? Shooters? My point to that is by adding a veteran point guard, you're not going to take away minutes from a kid that has upside. Trust me. A kid that doesn't have upside is not going to play. A kid that doesn't have immediate upside is not going to play. If you're a kid right now on the Knicks and you're not contributing something on a nightly basis, Tom Thibodeau is not going to put you in the rotation. Sorry, not sorry. If you're part of the young core and you can't contribute a specific thing in a role on a nightly basis, Tom Thibodeau is not giving you minutes. Sorry, not sorry. But by adding a veteran like Mike Conley that can help Derrick Rose unlock the likes of a Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, now everyone wins. Tom Thibodeau wins his games. These veterans get to compete for a deep playoff run. And these young kids get unlocked and learn how to play NBA basketball from veterans that have been there and done that. There was nothing more frustrating to me the other night than to watch Obi Toppin run up and down the floor and do everything that is asked. Obi Toppin did everything you want a team player to do, and bench guards don't even look for him. Don't even try to include him in the offense. As a matter of fact, the two bench guards I'm referring to were 5 for 24 from the floor. They took 24 shots and made 5 of them. Yet Cam Reddish and Obi were left to play hero ball, which is not their strong suit. You force a backup power forward to play hero ball. You force a lottery bust in Cam Reddish to play hero ball while you shoot 5 for 24 from the floor. Go get Mike Conley. Go get Mike Conley and see what happens to Cam Reddish and Obi Toppin. Go get Mike Conley and see how healthy Derrick Rose will be. Go get Mike Conley, who should be cheap, by the way. Mike Conley should be very cheap. The Utah Jazz don't have long-term plans for Mike Conley, and neither should we. But the Knicks have an abundance of resources. And for those watching on the audio, listening on the audio podcast, I did the mock Dr. Evil quotations in the air. Resources. For those that remember movies like Austin Powers. I did the Dr. Evil air quotes. Resources to go get a Mike Conley on the relatively cheap. Give Utah like 2 second-round picks for Mike Conley. They'll take it. They don't want him to play anyway. They have Colin Sexton. How does that help the team? How does that help the Knicks? It helps in both. If you are a pretender, then it helps these young kids. You have another veteran voice to help these kids get better. If I told you that you could get Mike Conley to mentor Emmanuel Quickly, what would you say? Anybody in here that loves the kids so much, if I told you that you can go get Mike Conley to help mentor Emmanuel Quickly and Miles McBride, what would you say? You'd say, sign me up. And for others that say, well, Derrick Rose is mentoring Emmanuel Quickly and Miles McBride. Well, how has that worked out in the development of Miles McBride and Emmanuel Quickly so far? Here's the alternative. You don't want an old man, right? You don't want an old man? You don't want Mike Conley? Then go get Trey Jones. If you don't want an old man, go get Trey Jones. What is the harm? The Spurs don't need him. The Spurs are trying to tank. The Spurs are trying to tank for Victor Wambiana or whatever. Wambiana. Why not? Go get Trey Jones. Trey Jones is a borderline starter bench guy. And guess what else? He played at Duke with Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett. Go get Trey Jones from the Spurs. Guess what? He played at Duke with Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett. Make you laugh, just to make you laugh, that means that the Knicks would have 3 out of the big 4 from that one great Duke year. Can you imagine what the rumor mill will sound like when Trey Jones, who also is a quality, Trey Jones is a quality NBA player. For one, let me first establish that. Trey Jones is a quality NBA point guard, and that's what we need. And he's young. And he's young and mature. And he's mature. And quite frankly, even though I love Deuce McBride, even though I love Emmanuel Quickly, if I get Trey Jones, I'm not playing Emmanuel Quickly or Deuce McBride. I think Trey Jones is better than them right now. That means when Jalen Brunson steps off the floor, your offense and defense will still operate at a high level. When Derrick Rose gets injured, Trey Jones can still hold down the second unit or the first unit. It don't matter. He's a borderline starter, a good guy, super mature, and oh yeah, he has past history with RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish. And so what would it take to get a Trey Jones? Something cheap. Here's the only thing though with acquiring a Mike Conley from the Utah Jazz. That means you have to deal with Danny Ainge. Here's the thing with trading for Trey Jones, you have to unburn that bridge with San Antonio that you burnt when you poached Marcus Morris. So you have to unburn a bridge in San Antonio and you have to repair a relationship in Utah. But here's the alternative. When Derrick Rose gets hurt, you can just play Emmanuel Quickly at point. Does that make you a contender? Are Are the Knicks a contender with Emmanuel Quickly at point guard? That's the alternative. The alternative is pray that a New York Knicks starting point guard doesn't get hurt or be ineffective, and also pray that Derrick Rose stays healthy. These are your alternatives. Pray that the starting point guard for the New York Knicks doesn't get injured or does not come in and be ineffective. And the second part is pray that Derrick Rose doesn't get injured. Those are the alternatives. And if we don't make a move, then instead of RJ Barrett being a wing scorer like he's proven he can be this preseason, now RJ Barrett has to be a playmaker. Now Julius Randle is bringing the ball up. Now Emmanuel Quickly is running point. Those are the alternatives to not going out and getting Mike Conley and Trey Jones. And if you like those alternatives, hey man, hey, more power to you. If you like those alternatives, if you like having to pray that Derrick Rose doesn't get injured, and if you like rolling the dice on a New York Knicks free agent coming here and not getting injured or being ineffective, then more power to you. What I'm saying to you as a Knicks fan is, of course, I hope Jalen Brunson is very effective and doesn't get injured. And of course, I hope Derrick Rose doesn't get injured, right? At the same time, I want to hedge my bet by bringing in another veteran. I want to hedge my bet there. But here is alternative 3, and it's probably the one that you guys like. Here is alternative 3. The ultimate move. Here's the ultimate move. Package these young guys and picks for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Package these young guys and picks. Package them. These young guys and picks for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That is the check move. That is the move that cuts the board into quadrants and limits where the opposing king can move. And when I say young guys, listen, you already know if you trade for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, some of the young guys that you like are gone. If you want SGA, then you can't have Obi. If you want SGA, Obi Toppin's gone. If you want SGA, Obi's gone. Quentin Grimes is gone. But is it worth it? Is a starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, SGA, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, worth trading Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, and first round picks? Is SGA worth it? Is SGA the star that you've wanted? Is Shea Gilgeous Alexander the missing piece for this Leon Rose regime? Is a backcourt of SGA and Jalen Brunson the dynamic duo? Are you willing to give up Obi and Grimes and first round picks for Shea Gilgeous Alexander? I'm not going to discuss my opinion here. I'll discuss my opinion on the live stream right after this. So we're going to do a live stream right after this on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on the audio podcast platforms, on Google Podcasts, on Amazon, and other places that you listen to podcasts for, come back to YouTube and check us out over here. Knicks family, are you willing to pay for SGA? I laid out all the alternatives. The alternatives are do nothing and pray that Derrick Rose stays healthy. And if he does get hurt, pray that Emmanuel quickly becomes something special. And then I gave the alternative. Trade for SGA. This is just food for thought. Paris Ducker says, funny, trade for Trey Jones to become IQ at MSG. I don't know. I don't know about that one, boss. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But listen, this has just been a moment with Uncle Freezy, and just had a thought. Just wanted to run that thought by you. So, Knicks fans, I'm about to do the live stream in about, as soon as I end this, I'm going to do the live stream. So don't go anywhere. Y'all know how this go. I have to end this so that I can keep it in a certain platform, a certain format, and then I'm going to click on the other button and then do and do the live chat. And this live, and listen, this live stream gonna be lit because I didn't read comments for this one just because this is a different type of joint. But when I get over on the other side, when I get over on the other side and do the live stream, I'm gonna be reading comments. And so y'all know what that means. Again, it's your main man, Uncle Freezy. Thank you for listening to this joint in the audio podcast format. We're going to do a live stream in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. See y'all in a few.